Hey guys, I wanted to do a question that I get asked a lot, and it's how do you survive in a full berserker build? A lot of new players, they don't have a lot of experience in knowing all the boss tells and everything, and I think that there's a lot you can do if you're a new player to kind of pick up this information kind of quickly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple different mobs in the game that you can find in the open world that have sort of obvious and pretty easy to detect tells. And what you should do is get used to dodging these attacks till you have them down. And what you'll find is that most bosses and most mobs in the game have some variation of attacks like this. Now, some mobs are going to have some tells that are harder than others, and some are going to have animations that are quicker than others. But just learning these basic ones and getting a good feel for your reaction time is really important. The next thing I'm going to say also is make sure that you have your dodge key bound to something that's very convenient for you, something that you can press instantaneously. I have it bound to a mouse button. A lot of people have it as their space bar. If the V is good for you, that's great. I don't recommend using the double tap. I think that is going to slow you down and cause you headaches. But yeah, bind your mouse or bind your dodge to something that is good and convenient for you, and then go out into the open world and find the bosses that I'm going to show and learn their tells. And just doing this and practicing a little bit till you have it down will make you way better and more survivable in a full berserker build. And it'll get you ready for more challenging bosses that you'll find in dungeons. But the same thing applies. Just practice their tells in runs, and you'll be as good against them as you are against these bosses in the open world. Check it out. So this first mob is an Abomination. You can find these all over Cursed Shore. They have some simple attacks with wind-ups. You can see kind of what he's doing. It's very obvious he's going to swing. You don't even have to dodge some of their attacks. You can kind of just sidestep. As you can see, you can just sidestep or run through him, and you can pretty much avoid everything. This Abomination is a mechanic that you see ANET repeats quite a few times in bosses and mobs throughout their dungeons. And you can just come and do like I'm doing and just get used to dodging his stuff, and you'll be good to go against all sorts of bosses that have very similar mechanics as this. So these are the Iceworms that are outside of HOTW in Frostgorge Sound. If you stand at range like I'm doing, they only have one attack, and it's this long wind-up projectile that they shoot at you. This is a good attack to practice your dodging on. The projectiles will come at a pretty steady interval. You won't really run out of dodges, and you can kind of spend some time getting used to the timing and avoid them. I definitely dig this particular mob for daily skill interrupter and daily dodger when I'm pressed for time and I just want to get my dailies out of the way. But it's definitely good practice for learning how to dodge projectile attacks. And it's right by a waypoint, so you can just come right here and practice this till you have it down. So this is the Ettin. There's Ettins all over the place in Guild Wars 2. ANET loves reusing this mob's particular mechanic. You can find these all over the place. I would suggest Queensdale has the most. So you just basically come here, and you can see he's got a couple different attacks, and you just do your best to avoid them. And this is a very good mob to practice against, because ANET, like I said, does repeat this type of mob mechanic in a lot of different places in their dungeons and fractals. So I recommend coming here and practicing against these guys till you have them down. And so here's the last thing I'm going to show you. These are the veteran Oakhearts that you can find all over the place. I particularly like the ones in Gandaren because they don't die so fast. They have a bunch of different attacks. They have an immobilization that makes it impossible to dodge, so you have to be ready with Condi removal. Their tells are all long windups, but they are very avoidable. Also, ANET loves the mechanic of the Oakheart mob, and they are all over the place in dungeons, fractals, and open world. So it's definitely something you can get used to dodging, and it's really good practice. So I recommend highly coming to use Oak-Hearts for dodging practice. So that's it, guys. I hope this helped you. I know some of the more advanced players out there, this is not really that helpful of a guide for them. But I do get asked quite a bit by newer players, like how they can learn to survive in full Berserker gear. And I think just practicing this stuff like I showed will help you go a long way towards picking up the aspects of running a DPS build a lot faster. So thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. See you guys.